So we finally get to see the Bikeriders. I ended up uploading a video, my Nosferatu video, because I got to see the trailer before the Bikeriders, which it's such a strange film to, well, I guess maybe not. I don't know. It's just the Bikeriders, Nosferatu. I mean, yeah, I guess I get how you can see that they're similar. That was a joke. But the Bikeriders is the new film from Jeff Nichols, and it stars Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Jodie Comer with a terrific accent. It's also got Norman Reedus, Michael Shannon, and it is very interesting because it was a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. Now, when I was at the Chicago International Film Festival last year, when I saw Zone of Interest, I remember standing in line, and while I was standing in line, I believe this film actually got delayed because it was going to have a release not too long after the festival, and they ended up delaying it. I had no idea whenever it was going to come out. Turns out summer 2024, and I think that's for the best because last year was just such a heavy year for films. Like, it was such a strong year for films, which the Bikeriders is still really good. And this is what I'm gonna have to make a separate video about this, but it's just people that say that film is dying and there's no good films out there. I disagree. I feel like the last 2 years have been just fantastic. I really, really have. I thought this year was going to be slow because of, the strikes and stuff, but no, I mean, it's just been fucking great. I've been happy. I've been eating good. And Jeff Nichols is already a really good director, very established director. A lot of his films are set in the Midwest, but I love how he takes this sort of, Midwest setting and he applies it to different genres. Like, you've got Shotgun Stories, which is more like a drama. You got Midnight Special, which is sort of like a sci-fi. And I like the different. And then you got Take Shelter, which is like I don't want to say it's like a psychological film, but I feel like Jeff Nichols is at home where he's at home at, and he just likes to sort of make what he makes. And I appreciate that a lot because it sort of adds, like, because when you look at Jeff Nichols films, they don't look the same. Like, they look, each film sort of stands out on its own. Like, I think if a normal audience member was to go in and sit down, they wouldn't know it was a Jeff Nichols film just based off of, what they were seeing. But again, the situations and the settings, you don't see a lot of films with these settings. And that could possibly be like a style for him in itself. The acting in the film was actually really good. Like, I did not expect, so when I say that I did not expect this film to be what it was, what the Bikeriders is, anthology films. They're their own style of film. But I would argue that a lot of films that come out, especially nowadays, are usually just vignettes with an overarching story where you're basically just watching characters in scenarios. And I feel like, honestly, that might have to do with maybe budgetary purposes. But I feel like that's situations that this group found themselves in. And the editing for this was really good. Like, the editing was... Cinematography was great. Pretty sure they shot on anamorphic. And I thought it was a fun time. Is it my favorite Jeff Nichols film? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's my favorite Jeff Nichols film. But it still gets me excited to see whatever Jeff Nichols puts out there because, I think he's a solid director. I think he's great. I'll watch anything that he makes. Very strange seeing Michael Shannon in a small role compared to his other works. And this film is not contemporary like his other films. It's set between the 60s and the 70s, which it's about this actual, biking club, which I believe it's based off of the Outlaws, which I believe there's actually a chapter. I don't know if it's close to where I am or not, but I remember seeing them on the interstate one day. And I used to be a really big fan of Sons of Anarchy. Like, and I still love Sons of Anarchy. I have no shame. I love Sons of Anarchy, one of the greatest shows ever made. But I really like how this story sort of took a more humble approach to the whole biker gang thing, because it wasn't trying to woo you over with violence. It wasn't trying to woo you over with loud engines, although the sound was really good. It was really just this very sophisticated drama between these certain characters, these certain situations, this overarching story, and a little splish splash of almost nostalgia. And I think really that nostalgic presence that's included in the narrative is what really sets this film apart from Jeff Nichols' other films, because while I feel like a lot of his other films are pretty straightforward, front and center, situation first, I feel like this film is really just sort of in a way, you don't, I don't condone any type of not paying attention in a film, but you can kind of relax while watching this film. I remember when I watched Shotgun Stories for the first time, I didn't relax. No, fuck no, couldn't do it. But with this film, it is laid back and it's got its moments, and it really does, sort of take you for a ride, no pun intended. But I like it. I like the pacing. I like what was included. Jeff Nichols is fucking great, and we're going to go ahead and end this. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. If you guys want to check out my links down in the description below, got my link tree down there if you want to check out my film work. Trying to get that out there. Also, if you're a filmmaker that's wanting to connect, please reach out. I love meeting new people. But anyway, let me know what you thought of the Bikeriders down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.